pay more attention to chat now.
Mm-hmm. No worries. Do you want to get to the next topic? Champion point cap.
Boo yeah!
And also the catch-up mechanic.
Yes, I obviously I'm in the perfect spot to enjoy this and be somebody who agrees with it because I am the person who does not have anywhere as near 500 champion points.
Yes.
Like, not even close. So, of course, I'm on the beneficial end, and that probably, kind of clouds my view of it. But I think it's a really good thing to try to get everybody a little closer, yet it's not just stopping everybody. After 500 champion points, people are still able to actually gain champion points, so it's not like they're just cut off. Sure, it's going to be a lot harder, but, in the competitive stuff, I think it was really important to get people closer together, because with champion points, right now I'm not into being super competitive, but how do I know 6 months from right now I might really want to get into this game for being super competitive, and I don't want it to be my champion point difference that actually makes that difference. I want it to be a skill level that makes that difference. And sure, there is, a couple champion points, they really don't make that big a difference. But when we're talking 1,000 champion point difference, that will make a difference.
Yes.
So they needed a way to not allow that 1,000 champion point difference to happen.
I have mixed feelings on it myself. You heard one of the questions that we asked Rich there was, in PvP and trials, it makes sense to put the champion point cap on, but when we go to PvE, stuff like this content here and outside of that, why do we have the cap? And I understand they're trying to balance things, but at the same time, when we look at the future, when they raise the cap again, all the content they're previously talking about having to balance it for is going to be out of whack unless they go back and tweak it up, right?
Well, see, and I'm kind of lost in that too, because here's the deal. Like, it wouldn't matter if they don't tweak the base game, because you're done the base game.
Yes.
Right? Everybody's done the base. Well, not everybody, but you know what I mean. Everybody's done the base game. But they're trying to make the DLC available to be done in any order. So when we have 12 DLC out, or 6 or whatever, and somebody goes to the new one and then goes to Orsinium, Orsinium's going to be scaled to 200 champion points, or whatever they scaled Orsinium for. And that new DLC might be scaled to 1,000 champion points. So they're going to be having a really hard time, because catch-up mechanic or not, they're probably not going to be caught up with the rest of the team. And then they're going to go to Orsinium that was balanced for way less champion points, and they're going to be like, what? I'm just like one-shotting everything, man. And I see that being a problem, but I really don't see any hard and fast way to fix it, because that if you go make Orsinium harder when we get another new DLC, so that because CP cap got raised or whatever, then new people coming into the game are going to find Orsinium too hard because they're not going to have that CP that we do.
Right, exactly. So
catch-up mechanic or not, there's always going to be a difference in CP.
Yeah, but to me, there's like 2 or 3 things involved in that though too. Like if you've gone ahead and got yourself way up there in CP, let's say you have 1,000 CP now, right? If you come into Orsinium and it's a challenge, I understand that you sometimes want a challenge, but like you've already done grinding, you've already committed yourself to a lot of time inside the game there, and if it's like hard to do stuff because now you have 500 champion points, whereas everyone else that's just coming in here has 100 or 300, and you're forced to like do the same PvE content at the same rate as everyone else. It just seems like they're taking away something on that too, at least to me.
I know, but they couldn't. It would have been. I think it would have been too jump ahead in time if they would have taken the max amount of CPA by has and made that the cap, so that nobody lost.
Well, it's also to me it's like where you need to have the CP cap is anywhere you have competition. Like if you're looking at like the arenas, if you're looking at PvP, yeah, absolutely have a CP cap, because you don't want to have somebody that's just not killable inside Cyrodiil or something else like that. But inside PvE, if somebody's already spent like the 22 hours, or sorry, not 22 hours, but probably 220 hours or something like that to get the new sorry, just paying attention here to Bob here. I was killing. But somebody who spent the time to do it and get that CP, they've already invested a large amount of time to it, so I don't see any reason they shouldn't be able to blow through the content easy if they choose to. I mean, anytime they can just choose to lower their CP points and make out a challenge again too. That's never a hard thing to do. Like, you just don't put in points, right?
But no, but that's the problem though, is that they can't do that because there's no easy slider to say I want to change it to only having 500 my CP, and you have to pay for that. So if this person's, you know,
well, they just leave it. They just leave it sitting out there. You know, we redistribute the points, take them all out, or something like that. If they really, really, really want to challenge, I don't know. I'm torn on it. I don't have anywhere near like 1,000 champion points on my live character. It's like only like 265 or something like that where I am at. So I'm like halfway to the cap, I guess. But to me, it seems like it was just basically done for now for the cap, just to make it so it's everyone has to play by the same rules in PvE as well as PvP, and any competition they have for trials. But I don't know. I kind of feel like they should have handled it a little bit differently in that. The other thing that kind of bothered me with this as well is, if I understood it correctly, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, you're only going to be allowed, what was it here? Let me open up something real quick just so I can verify it. We're looking at 501 champion point cap, right?
Yeah.
Divided by 3, and I think they said 167 per like area. So like, you know, the warrior, the thief, the mage. You can only put 167
Yeah, that's why
per.
it's 501, so that you had equal in all three trees.
But at the same time, the thing that bothers me with that is, what would have made more sense to me, or at least a good compromise on that, would have been making the 501 cap to it, right? But then, like, if somebody's managed to get like 1,000 CP points, then they should be able to put like 200 or 300 of those into the mage line, and then maybe 100 into the warrior line, and then maybe 100 into the stamina line.
So they're not forcing the rotation.
Exactly. Yeah. They make it so somebody who has managed to get themselves all the way up there, way high, can still benefit from this in some way, to show that, like, hey, you have a couple thousand CP points. Well, you can put a couple more into this because now you have, you know, X amount into here more than the other guys. Which, again, you're not looking at like punishing them for having all this extra CP to it or anything else like that. 1 minute.
No problem. Hey everybody, Hero's gone! Yeah, no. I can't even play the game this whole time. I was supposed to like hang out with Hero in game during all this stream, and I can't do it because I can't focus on playing it on chat and having this conversation, because this conversation takes more thought than my normal streams where I just babble. How's everybody doing? Is everybody excited to see Rich and Gina? Were you happy or sad? What was your favorite part of what you heard? Share the news. Did you guys see the message? Did everybody get my link on the forums? How maintenance will start at 2 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. Remember, daylight savings time happens. I know the rest of the world who doesn't do anything with it might be like, oh no, time changed. But to me, it's normal. Okay. 2 a.m. they are starting maintenance on Monday.
All right, back again. Sorry about the wait.
Oh, no problem, bud. I was just, you know, babbling. I'm good at it.
Okay, this will be another edit mark for me real quick here, but okay. So the next patch, or sorry, the what do you think on the CP points there, with it being capped per the rotation there like that, rather than just give them the ability to, if they have it, like just to put everything into like one tree?
I think it makes sense in a way because they didn't want people to all just put into one thing. They wanted to spread them out. And that makes sense, but there's this whole disparity, and this is totally kind of shoving away from the fact that from the new DLC, that as a Magicka user, you have to spread your points a lot more thin than a Stamina user does.
Yep.
And I think that's part of, they should have fixed that, or yes, let you not follow the 1, 2, 3 thing, because at least then I can put my points where they're really going to help me and not be forced to put something that I just put it there because it's the best out of the options I have.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I feel as well. It's just, I got myself killed here, but like, it also rewards people that who have managed to get it, so they still have an advantage. They can do a build that they want to, that's not too overpowered, in my opinion, but like still have a good, like, fair chance at some of this stuff too.
I disagree with that. Someone absolutely would find an overpowered build. There is people
yes,
that
they'll min-max it. Yes, I won't.
Seriously, do the math. Like, it's not even just trying on the PTS. They literally have programs and charts and figure out this is absolutely the best gear combination you can have for a Magicka DPS. People do that. And that would get done with that champion point system, and maybe that's something that Zoss thought of, and maybe they even know of some crazy builds that could be made if they didn't put that limitation on us, and maybe that's why they didn't.
Yeah,
because somebody would find a super OP build, guaranteed.
But that's still going to be coming up in the future too. When you think about it, because it's still going to be, they still got to raise it at some point too. It's just delaying it at this point, right?
Yeah, it will happen, but it already kind of does, because you see these builds out there and a lot of the same champion point spots are being used. People know what's worth, you know, what you should be putting your CP into already. So it will become more defined as time goes on, but hopefully this catch-up system will really go into high gear. Like, I can only imagine when our cap is 3,000 champion points, I'm hoping that when I start a brand new account, I better get a 2,000. Like free off the hop. Yeah.
All right, here. Well, let me see here. Unfortunately, my wife turned off my light on me here, so I'm kind of in the dark here. Hopefully people can see me at home. Yeah, I can still see me, even though it's a little bit.
You have mad glare though now.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I can turn on one light here. 1 minute.
Oh, and building for your playstyle is a huge part, because you can take someone else's, one of those builds where they say this is absolute best for this, and it probably mathematically is, but if you can't play that style, you're SOL. So definitely matters that you need to make a build for your playstyle.
Yes. But meanwhile, the champion point catch-up system, which I think is a great idea. That's something that they really need to put in here, and I kind of feel like one of the reasons they're working on this stuff is because they are looking at eventually getting rid of the veteran system and replacing it with the champion system at some point in time. Don't know 100% when, but it's coming. We know that. They told us.
Yeah. A lot of hot topics on the forums about that currently, about the whole veteran rank thing. People battling for or against it, but yet the CP system was to replace it, so it's going to happen. And the catch-up system, I think, was needed, and it's good.
Yes, and I kind of also feel like one of the reasons they're not increasing the veteran system or the veteran rank up to like vet 15 or vet 16 or
18.
17 and 18, yeah, you're correct. Is partly because they're looking at some point getting the CP points on parity to the max level. So like when you take like a 501 CP points, I view that as vet 16 right there. That's what they're translating that to. And in the next cap increase, it's probably going to be like maybe 700 or something like that, another 200 champion points, and that's probably going to be what's equivalent to our 17, 18 side of things, and they're just going to keep on raising things that way.
But it's hard for me to say that they figure 500 CP is equal to vet 16. I don't know if you saw this, but did you actually know that Rich, who we had here earlier tonight, posted numbers on the forums for what the average CP is as of about, I don't know, I think he did 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and it was like only 1% have over like 1,000, like all have over 500
Oh, hold on. No, he wrote the average amount of champion points that players have, and they
Oh yes.
only counted active players. So you had to have logged in within the last 30 days with so much playtime, blah blah blah. Not just log in to feed your horse. Only counted active players that had a vet 1 or higher, right? Obviously, we're not taking non-vets in accounts into account. The average CP was something like, it was below 100. I'm pretty sure it was 92.
Mm.
And like I said, they only take active players into account. So I
Yep.
think actually the 500 cap is quite high, and I don't know if I would translate that to vet 16. As a vet 16 player on live, currently I think I have 150 champion points. And I was given champion points when we actually transitioned into that system.
Mm. Yeah.
So I don't know if that translates directly to vet 16. I think 500 already translates to something higher.
Yeah, I still want to see that though. I'm kind of curious on what those exact numbers are though, because until I see the algorithm they use, like everyone's gonna keep on saying though that it's like, well, they stacked it in with like everyone that's like just started the game or just hit vet 1, you know, and you know I could see them like putting in some padding to some of that, but it's like, you know, I can't say yes or no to either one of them until I know the exact formula to it. But I could absolutely agree that, you know, the thing that looks more important to me though is like when they talk about who is hit over 500 and they say like 1% of the users, that's kind of telling of why they chose that number, and I can agree with it. Like if we don't have that many people in that area and that's the 1% there, then that's where we start the curve and that's where we start the catch-up mechanic to it, you know.
Okay, I'm gonna quote, I found
Okay.
it. I don't usually talk numbers, but here is some to chew on with regards to the number of champion points players have. The number of players that are going to be affected by the cap is very, very small. This was posted October 5th, guys.
Yeah.
Average CP on PC, 93. Average CP on PS4, 46. Average CP on Xbox One, 44. And then on a follow-up post, because like people are questioning, yeah, you counted everybody and their dog, didn't you?
No.
The averages I posted were calculated from active accounts that have at least one VR character and can start earning CP. An account is only considered active if it has been logged into in the past 30 days and has played the game for a significant period of time.
Okay. Yes, that's true. But the other question to that is, how long have they been playing too? If they just ground themselves up to that and got to vet rank 1 recently, that's another thing to consider. But like I said,
but that's important to consider when they're calculating those averages, because when they're deciding what to gauge Orsinium at, they have to consider all those people that just hit vet 1.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? An average is an average.
I don't disagree with that. I'm just worried that like a lot of the people that are loyal who've been playing this game for a long time, they probably have a lot of like a lot of time invested to it. They're probably the people that are higher on the CP charts, and like now we're kind of like getting higher. Now we're kind of lumping them in together with like everyone else that's already here. Not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. They still have to make sure everything's balanced between these groups here, but I think that's part of where the contention comes from this cap, you know?
I don't know. I've been playing this game a long time. I have a lot of time logged into this game, and I'm definitely on the lower end of the CP scale. Well, I'm higher than the average, but I definitely do not have 500.
No, I don't either.
And it's all about what you spend your time in game doing.
Mm-hmm. I think the other thing that people get worried about is like, you know, I'm halfway there now with CP points. Is this next DLC here going to make it so that, you know, I'm going to hit that cap and I'm not going to have anything to do with it now because I'm going to hit that cap because they're lowering the thing there, they're increasing the gain to it, and I'm not going to be able to do anything until the next patch. You know, we're not in the high end now, but this catch-up mechanic is potentially going to give us a good way to level it up, and we don't want to get ourselves stuck into the point that we're, hey, my characters are already at high level here, have nothing else to do to level them except for a gear grind or PvP grind or something else like that, right?
Or finish Cadwell Gold that I haven't done.
Mm-hmm.
Or Craiglorn.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm totally. I see it from a different perspective because, yes, as I say, I'm a slow player. Slower than average, guaranteed. I've not finished Cadwell Gold on a single character. I've never quested in Craglorn on a character. And I've been playing since April 2014. So I'm not going to run out of stuff to do anytime. But you're still earning CP once you hit the cap. It's not like you hit 501 and they're like, boom, you're done, you don't get to earn anymore. You still can earn it, and then when they raise the cap, that CP you earned past the cap will open up to you. Yep. So you're still earning it.
Yeah, but you're earning it at a lesser rate and all that stuff. And don't get me wrong.
Good, because that's how people catch up.
I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm trying to understand.
I know you are.
Yes,
I know.
yes. I think the cap is. I think the cap is a good thing. I kind of feel like they should have compromised that a little bit there. Like I said, the champion point catch-up mechanic is definitely needed. I don't think anyone's argued against that since they announced it. I think almost everyone, I think even high levels, agree that people need a way to catch up and to get back into the high thing here. Because if you come in here, you see how many champion points you have to get to be able to compete with people on PvP and trials and all this other stuff. You're gonna be like, why even freaking bother? It's gonna take me hours of time here, and I don't have that time. They're gonna give up. But now, hopefully, they're gonna be looking at people getting champion points every hour or so to help them out with this new system here. And maybe after you hit your vet 1, you're gonna have your first 10 champion points that day. And then they're gonna feel good because now they can actually be useful in something comparatively, instead of just getting battle leveled with everything they do. And well, they're still gonna get battle leveled, but I think it's still gonna be good on a lot of the fronts there. Kind of babbling on now. All right. Do you want to talk on the new gear and drops in crafting, or new gear from drops in crafting?